It's Numerologist Glynis McCants, and we'll be spending a little time together. I just want to talk about what's going on in the world and then answer some of your numerology questions. Yeah. I would say, this is the month of seven. Seven, I always say it's a spiritual time, meaning it's time to go within yourself, ask you what's going on with you, how do you feel, but it's dramatic, and you've got to find ways to not let it get you, meaning to confront it. You have to watch what you say. The more you work on the inner dialogue, the better off you are. So, working on your spiritual self, that is the way to play it. And then people have written me about the water stuff. They're like, Glynis, because they know. If you've read my books, I talk to you about the seven and water. It's always true that stuff can go down. Things can happen that are not good regarding water. So when you deal with the floodings that have happened in Texas, and I'm looking at some other notes here, there's been flash flooding in New Mexico. And, lives are being lost. I mean, I think the count now, it's over 100 people have passed away, right, from in Texas, but also 161 people are still missing. So what does that tell you personally? You just have to be hyper vigilant, right? I mean, right now, we don't know who is going to help us or who isn't, right? Something can go wrong. Are they going to come? Like the fires we have in California. So when they happen, you have to figure out ways, how do I protect myself? How do I protect my family? And then how do I protect my mind? The way you feel in your head, I always say that the energy that's within us can turn against us sometimes, right? So you got to find ways to affirm positive. And we were kind of working on an affirmation. I'd like to do this with my mother, Gwen. Some of you know her, and if you don't, you're missing out. She's terrific. But we came up with something. If you're feeling down, like maybe you're creative and you want to express yourself, but you just don't feel heard, perhaps you even feel invisible. So write this down. Here's an affirmation for you. I am unique, and what I have to offer is very special, and I'm in demand. So that's what you're saying, that you're unique, what you offer is special, and you're in demand because people do see you. But you have to affirm it, because if you don't believe it, it can't happen. And here's what people don't understand. We can consciously say anything we want, but if we don't really believe it, like on that subconscious level, it's not going to happen. So again, I am unique, and what I have to offer is very special, and I'm in demand. That's what you're declaring. You're making it clear that it's not just that you have a gift. Always consider there are 8 billion people on the planet. You don't think you could have a fan base out of 8 billion people? If you write a book, you don't think there's going to be readers out of 8 billion people who would be interested in what you have to say, or start a company, or sell a product? Yes. So it's all about opening your mind, expanding your mind, and letting go of the negative chatter. That's the other thing about the seven. You may hear your inner voice being more critical than usual, and you have to shut it down. So do things to distract you. Now, I said this in my newsletter, but it's absolutely true. I have been living in my pool like every single day. I jump in there and I feel so much better because I'm in water. So, that's the positive side of seven, is that if you immerse yourself with water, it can be a good thing. So it could even be the bathtub with the salts. That's a good idea. If you could have access to a jacuzzi, great. If there's a lake or a river, go for that. But just get yourself in the water, be weightless. And then do some prayer, do affirmation, do whatever those words that make you happy, that put you in a better mood, because you're going to have to find ways to lift your spirit. It isn't necessarily going to happen by the people around you. And then that inner voice, second guessing the inner voice, not a good idea. Go with it. If the answer is no, you feel it's a no, it's okay to say no. And remember, no is a complete sentence, right? Yeah. And you don't have to explain yourself to anybody, because Unfortunately, what happens if we don't deal with it, it can mess with our health. And that's the bottom line. I do think about Steve Jobs. I mean, what wasn't he one of the wealthiest men in the world? But he had internalized and he'd had a tough life and he did, drugs and stuff just to try to stay alive, I suppose. But it got him sick, right? He did get sick and he passed away. So just remember, nobody out there is worth your health. Nothing you're working on, none of your goals. No, you don't have to do that. And also separate yourself. Maybe you're dealing with family and it's not an option, right? It's family. But you don't have to fall in. You can recognize those patterns and say, I'm not going to do it. I don't have to do it this time. Okay? That's the key. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so that's good. Someone was just talking about the fact that they try to just share good stuff, right? To share the good news, share the positive. That's great. But if you do see somebody sharing stuff, some people become addicted, right? They become addicted to tragedy of being a victim, but we can't ignore what's happening either, right? So if there is tragedy, if there's a way for you to volunteer your time, good for you. If there's a way for you to give a little money to help, good for you. 2025, it breaks down to the number 9. And I've said this is the year of family. Well, in the big picture, aren't we all family? I mean, we are just human beings living at this time for a reason, and we need each other. And this whole separation stuff's not working. I mean, the idea that you're less than me because what? Color? Race? No, nothing's less than you. We're just human beings. And I do suggest, if you're alone and you don't have anyone, consider adopting a pet. Bring an animal into your life, a dog, a cat, or whatever you want, but get that unconditional love to flow in your life. Don't feel like you're all alone and that you have no one, because believe me, you do. But in this month, it is about having a relationship with yourself. Loving yourself more, working on that inner voice, being kinder, regrouping, answering those questions. What does the 7 say? Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? And if you work on it, if you focus on it, you get your answers. You can get your answers in this month of 7. And think of baby steps. And I know a lot of you have goals and you feel like it's just not happening. You're trying, but you just can't seem to make the time. Baby steps. Just pick one of your goals. Maybe it's to clean something, right? Maybe there's a room you just have not gone through. Go through the room. Throw the stuff away. Baby step at a time. But you do that, and mentally, you're going to feel much better. So yeah, that's what we're going through. I'm not going to be surprised if there's more flooding. I know we also heard about flooding in New Mexico, right? And there's been some lives lost there too. So it's happening. It's happening in the month of 7. And again, if there's a way in which you can help, please do. And then prayer. If you know my work, yes, numbers on my tool, but I have faith. Prayer is awesome. Prayer this month, affirmations this month, all of that mental work, reading self-help books, knowledge that you don't have, filling your mind with all that great stuff can only make you feel better. All right. As I sit here and look, I'm going to say hi to people right now. Scrolling down. Let's see. Dina Moody. I love that name. I do. Dina, I believe we used you as our little example in our newsletter. Did you happen to read the newsletter? Let me know if you did, because that was a lovely testimonial, I believe it was. And then everybody share your stuff, because remember, this is interactive in that I will grab your question or what you put, and then I will respond to it. So by all means, you want to put your full date of birth, and then you will put your question. And after this is a live feed happening. There are the comment section. Make sure when we're done, put a comment in there, because I do respond to those comments that are below my videos. I do. So maybe you don't have a question right now, but you'll have one later. That's the way to do it. Okay. Let's see what I got. 1 second. Okay. So I just have people clicking through saying where they're from. Judy Pliners in Hawaii, I'm assuming, because she said aloha. Let's see. I've got some dates of birth. Guy, make sure you put your dates of birth before saying, or besides saying hello. I appreciate that, but I also appreciate the quick question with the date of birth. That's what we're doing right now. And then the house number is tricky, so I'm going to pull that up as an example. It says I want to change my house number 604, empty nesting, couple looking for community and new energy, get out of our funk. We have a great relationship. It's more about coming out of the hermit mode. So date of birth here, 7/14/1982. That's a 5, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Wow. That's extremely rare. I don't know your name, but you're going by Mountain View, my Mountain View. Very rare for a 5 to be stuck in hermit mode. Normally, and in my opinion, a healthy 5, it's about exploration. It's about getting out in the world, taking trips. Besides the idea of changing your house number, yeah, I'll give you advice in a minute about that. But you got to get out of that house. Please tell me you got some plans up your sleeve. You're in a personal year of 3. This is a great time. Even if you go away for just a weekend, you could meet some great people, make some new friends, which I think we always value. I'm adjusting this so you can see me over her question. But you see what I mean? I find when double 5 energy gets stuck in a house, bad things happen. Meaning emotionally, you could feel frustrated or depressed or restless. You could be talking to someone, and if they're not interesting, you can barely breathe. You're like, just get me out of here, please. I just want to get on with my life. Now, when you say changing energy, the fact that you're in a relationship, yeah. If we're just going to go with 604, 6 plus 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. That's one part of it, right? If you just add the number 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, why not? First of all, 1 promotes independence. So that means you can be with a partner in that house, but it doesn't mean you're always connected. You're both kind of doing your own thing. Add the number 2, becomes a 3, it's going to promote connection, communication, being playful, but also loving, gentle, sweet. So that is a shift, I would suggest. 2 on the inside of the door, it's not for the mailman. And then when you do more advanced like energy, like especially when you move somewhere, you can break down the actual street address and see what those numbers are as well. But no matter what first they see, if it's 604, yeah, you got to pay attention to that. All right. And then cycle-wise, you said you're in a cycle 3. My advice, get in touch with the inner child. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And if you want to give us your first name, I'd appreciate it since it's not here on this sheet. But I would tell you, when you tap into the inner child, whether it's singing or writing, performing, getting with friends, being goofy, laughing, the laughter is key. As a matter of fact, I just recently was hanging out with someone. Yeah, it was a dear friend, but I started laughing. I just had this whole vision in my head of what was happening. It wasn't even real. It's like a Saturday Night Live skit, but I had tears of laughter when I was done, and I thought, that just feels so good. So please, Mountain View 1036, please find ways to laugh and enjoy yourself. And then this will be a great year for you. Thanks for the question. All right, let's see. We're going to go for this. How's my retirement going to be? This is Wendy with my husband. Wendy, that's tricky because I don't see your date of birth. I see his date of birth. So do you see how that doesn't work? How's my retirement going to be? If I knew your numbers compared to his, what if you're completely toxic? Then I say, great, retire and leave him a note and move along, right? That could be one answer. Or, wow, your natural match. How much fun for both of you? So I can't really answer that question. I can tell you that someone's sneezing in my room right now, which is a riot. All right, we got a 9, we got a 4, 5, 4, 9. So we got double 9 energy. Just going to read a little bit about your hubby. So double 9, the first thing I'd say, Wendy, has he resolved issues with his family? Like whenever we have 9, they often feel stuff from the very beginning. Like when it came to the original family, They either can feel unloved or abandoned or have issues like that, or they feel very responsible for family. So it just depends on which one it is. And then he's got a 4 attitude number, which means when he thinks he's right, it's hard for him to give up his position. And also, he can be very direct. And I would think you know that. So, again, I don't know your birth numbers, so I can't really say. I can't answer that, but I told you a little bit about him, and I hope that helps, because it also means maybe sometimes when he gets upset, if it doesn't feel like it's about you, he might be kind of living in the past. And if you make a note of it, you won't take it personally, which will make your life easier. So there you go. Let's pop this up. I couldn't really see it. Gino Stano and Doc Mitchell. ND. Hi, Glynis, you're amazing. So obviously a darling couple. I don't have birth dates, but you know what I could still do for you guys, Gina and Doc Mitchell. You know, when you deal with energy, it's the first name that tells us something. So actually, will only be Gina. And Gina, you've got that 9 in that first name, right? So it's a 9 energy. When I see that in a person, I always have a couple thoughts. One, I think they're going to help. You know, if I were to ask them, hey, could you help me? They do step up. It's a really lovely energy that way, that they want to help the people in their lives. And they'll even help perfect strangers, because they want to believe that while they were there, they made a difference. They did something good. And then I would also tell you, if you do have any emotional scars from that original family, that you work through it, and that you remember, if you're feeling down, how do I get happy? You are in the moment. When you're in the moment, like watching a movie that's fun or listening to music that makes you happy, any of that stuff, you're good. It doesn't take a lot to pull your vibration back up. But again, good energy in that first name. And then, of course, Doc Mitchell, we don't have his first name, but thank you for that little sweet thought from you. And I'll go like this. 2 dates of birth. That's always tricky, because I'm not really doing complicated reads. Like, I can do the fast food version of this. Will my boyfriend come? See, you see what, like, I have an ex-boyfriend and me, and then will my boyfriend come? So, Miss Cat Lady, I'm not sure how to answer that for you. So I will not answer that. I can only say that this August 12th, 1992 is a 5, 2, 3, 5, and you're also a 5, and that's tricky. You know, I always say when 2 5s come together, it can feel really good, and then it can feel really bad. And I also say when you have 5 5, check. You got to check that energy. You got to pay attention to the details. Otherwise, you can feel like you could crash a wall, right? Like you're having a great time and you're speeding along and you missed it. And next thing you're like, oh my gosh, look what happened. So be careful of that. You're lucky that your attitude number is compatible. And then the one with the 3 can also promote, I would say, a connection and communication, but you have to be careful, because this ex-boyfriend with the 2 attitude is actually very sensitive, and your 4 attitude, if you don't think about what you say, sometimes there can be a real breakdown in communication and can be hurt feelings. So that is what I would tell you, what's going on there. But it's complicated, and to say, will my boyfriend come? I still am not clear on what that means. But that's what I see in energy. If, let's say you do, if you're not together now, but you come back together, what did I say about 5 energy? Get out of your regular environment, find ways to celebrate your life and have fun. That is key. And then with your 4 attitude, watch what you say, because it can be misinterpreted. And actually, I would say it's a two-way street. Perhaps what he says can hurt you as well. But you just got to decide, if we're in this, if we come together again, we're trying to make this last. And in order to make a relationship last, you must consider, is this a fight worth having? So often it isn't. And if you don't do it, the relationship can be better, time can pass, and it gets stronger. So there you go. For those asking or saying, hi, Vanessa. Vanessa's not here today. She's has some friends in town and is focused on that right now. Okay? All right, let's see what we got. 9, This is Sandi Dale. 923. Look at all my 5 energy floating through today. It's so interesting, right? Do you see the number patterns? Now, mind you, today's 7/11, 2025. So we're dealing with master number energy. I want you guys to use that. Always think of the 11 as a doorway, because if you put those 2 lines, and you can go right through it, right? So it's a doorway, possibly of opportunity. And then 7/11 is 9. The whole date reduced 1 digit is also a 9. So we're dealing with 929 energy. What does that mean to me? One, it means trying to get stuff done. Make your list. Try to figure out what is most important to you. And if you're being sidetracked, if it is family, because remember, 9 can also be family. If you feel like you're doing a lot for your family, or maybe people at work, but you're not taking care of you, please put yourself in the driver's seat. Get back to the driver's seat of your life. Super important that you do that. Okay? Okay, so we got 923. And so the attitude number, we're dealing with 55 again, too. Or are we really dealing with 555? Yes, we are, right? So let's say month and days of 5, actual days of 5, and the whole dates of 5. Oh, Sandi, what you didn't tell me, what are you doing in your career? Because 5 is based on movement. And now I have to tell you, because I've worked in Hollywood and done a lot of shows, there are many top producers that are 5. They're really smart. Like their mind is a human popcorn machine. They have a lot of great ideas. So I'm hoping you're using the creative side of who you are in your job. And your job, you have to stay busy with all those 5s. If you get stuck, like when someone has to travel for their work, that's perfect for you with the 555 energy. Now, because you're in a personal year of 5, it means that some drama could be thrown at you. Some crazy things can go down. You got to pay attention to that. Be real focused. As a matter of fact, this year should be moving really fast for you, Sandi. So make a list of what you want to accomplish every single day. Just keep the list going and cross it off as you go. That's the only way you're going to have great results this year. So we say, how's my career outlook? Not sure what your career is, but I do prosperity affirmations. I'm all about being successful, right? Financially successful. If you look at the videos on my page, there's no way you won't find a prosperity affirmation. As a matter of fact, that's what I am inviting you to do that. Go to my previous lives and you'll see, because I bookmark it. Look for a prosperity affirmation. Start doing it, Sandi. 15 minutes a day, say it out loud. If you do that, you will cause a shift that's only positive for your career. And by all means, if you want to tell us what you're doing, please do, because I'd love to see it. And more importantly, I hope it's using all that energy that's in your body in a positive way. And I hope it's not a job where you're just bored and just trying to make a paycheck, because that's not good. Okay. A lot of you people also say to me, you don't even realize I have books. If you look on my channel and click, you'll see Glynis Has Your Number. That was the first book, but the fact is I self-published originally, then I added 100 pages and was published by a major publishing house. Then I wrote Love by the Numbers. So if you're looking, the month of 7 is such a good time to read, because remember, your inner voice, your body is craving it. It's like water in the desert. You're just craving information. So please get those books if you don't have them. Just get the ebook so you can start right away, or get the hard copy and you can feel it in your hands. But I promise you, they're not boring and they're life-changing. You just apply the information, and I simplified numerology in a way that could really help you ease your life, because it is a new language. It's not like you sit there running around doing numbers the way I do. But when you learn it, it just gives you that heads up before you deal with people and when you deal with your date. Okay? All right, hold on one second. Let's see. Okay. All right, so I guess we got Wendy back, right? So she says her birthday, 8/25, 1960, 7/6/4, and then, so we got the 4. Well, we already talked about that. Now that I'm seeing your numbers and you're asking about the partnership, you share the number 4, which means when you make a commitment, you stand by it. I'm assuming you've been together a long time. But I'm going to tell you, Wendy, if Mr. 49 1958 has not let go of the past, that's a problem. Now I have to confirm something. Yeah, no, it's correct. I'm just, because you didn't put a 19. By the way, everybody, when you write me, put the 19 in. Like she put 1960, 1958. She only put 60 and 58. Please put 19 because, when I'm doing this quickly, I need to see all the numbers to make sure it's correct. But anyway, if he's living in the past, if he's not happy, if he's gone too quiet, he doesn't want to speak up and tell you what he feels, that would be the problem. But if that's not the case, if he's open and understands you, and you guys have found a way to agree to disagree, then you can have a great retirement. So it's only you right now, Wendy, who knows the answer to that question. If you're feeling nervous about it and wondering, oh gosh, now that I'm going to retire, will this be a scary time? Yeah. So there you go. All right. I'm going to take a look here. Give me 1 second. Glynis, my friend has had some health and financial challenges this year. She's trying to sell her mom's house. Will she sell it this year? Okay. So here's what I always say about that. First, I'm going to look at the date of birth, 9/7/1964, 779. All right. She's in a cycle of 7. You know what she needs to do? I actually created an affirmation, and it just has been very powerful. Many people have heard about it on this YouTube channel. But I created an affirmation for a gal whose house would not sell. So it's just an affirmation to sell your home, and it was very effective. And that's my suggestion, Mike. If you want to help her, just treat her to it. It's not expensive. It's like 1995 or 1695. I'm not sure. Vanessa has it. When you shoot an email to glynis@numbercity.com, you can find out. But I'm telling you, it works. But if she's got the health issues, financial stuff's happening, I also want her to work on her health, right? She's got to get back to square one, because what did I say? Let's say she got lucky. She sold the house. She's got the money, but her health fails her. What would that matter, right? That's not good. So yeah, she's got the 9, which also tells me family's a big part of her. She's got double 7. I'm asking that she work on the spiritual side of who she is. That is my advice to her. And that she do, just like I suggested the other guy or other gal, work on that prosperity affirmation. Work on that, bringing the safety net in. Because I think she's gotten so fed up with how her life's going. She's lamenting a lot, right? She feels kind of like a victim. Like, why is my life not going to plan? Why the health issue? Why the financial challenge? You can shift it. Your mind is your planet. Honestly, someone once said that the world weighs 3 pounds and it's your brain. And when you reprogram the brain, you get a new world. And I know that's true. I've been teaching that as long as I've taught numerology. So that's my advice. Can she sell it this year? Yes. But she needs to get her mind in alignment with it. That's going to be the key. And that affirmation, since I already know it works, just reach out to glynis@numbercity.com. I see down here I talk about the YouTube channel. Let's see what else I have. Numberslady.com. I'm surprised that's not on here too. Give me a second. Let's look for another banner. Let's go with this one. How about this? It says, please email glynis@numbercity.com. So that's just a great place. If you have questions about what I do or information you're looking for, shoot your email over there. And also, I have a free newsletter where I answer questions. So you can sign up for that on my website, numberslady.com. Okay. All right. So I'm coming back into my comments, looking for some more questions. Here we go. All right. And how about this one? Lorraine Coso. Here, the tortured 8 life path. That's very funny. You're funny. And she's right. I write about the number 8. Here's the thing: the 8 can have great power. They can have financial security, they can be successful. But when it goes wrong, it's all about the 8 and tracing it. You trace an 8, it goes round and round, it can make you feel crazy. So sometimes they're on the right track and they fall off. Or they make a mistake, they're like, I'm never going to do that again. And then boom, they come back and they're like, it happened again. So yeah, they've got to find a balance. It's a tricky deal. But she's born on a 3-day, the 30th, 3 plus 0 is 3. So Lorraine clearly has a sense of humor. And as you can see, she made me laugh. Now her month and day is an 8. So here you are with an 8 attitude and an 8 life path. Will I ever find love? Lorraine, you have to be proactive to make that happen. Do I think you're capable of great love? Sure, I do. Have I seen people with your numbers, someone born on a 3-day, 8 life path, have good love? I sure have. But you got to choose wisely. You can't just, settle for anything just because you don't want to be by yourself, right? You don't want to be alone. It's never going to be that. And I already know you've not been that person. You're not a flirt. You're not someone who would settle just to get someone. But I still want you to work on it. And Lorraine, since you've known my work as long as you have, you must have at least one of my love affirmations. So if I say, love is within me, it flows out into the universe and comes back to me in abundance. Love is within me. It flows out into the universe and comes back to me in abundance. So it really is within you. When people are like, oh gosh, he didn't love me, he wasn't good to me, I say, love is within you. Some of us fall in love easily. Like you see a little kid and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that kitty. That's what you're doing. You fell in love because it's already here. But you might meet someone who just blocks it. They don't want to show it. Well, if you need someone who's demonstrative in showing you love, then you have to look for that person, welcome that person, affirm that person. So again, love is within me. It flows out into the universe and comes back to me in abundance. And now I'm going to share a little Charlie story, since you guys tend to know about Charlie. This is just a typical thing that he does that knocks me out. Okay, my mother is with us 3 days a week. We do a lot to help her at this time in her life. And oat milk is something she loves. Well, we were out of oat milk. I said, Charlie, we've run out of oat milk. And I'm not even sure if I mentioned it or just left it out as being empty. But the bottom line is, the next morning I wake up and there is brand new oat milk in the fridge. And all I can think is, I love you so much, Charlie. You are so thoughtful. I always tell you, kindness is your superpower. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It's just being thoughtful, giving something to a person that they absolutely need. And he does that. So yeah, Lorraine, you can have it, but you have to affirm it. Because clearly, if you've been single a long time, you've shut that part of you down. So thanks for the question. Oh, I'm pulling up my little Satya. Hey, Satya. Satya. I don't want to mispronounce that name. Listen, you and I have a little secret, and I was thinking about you in an email. You and I have been talking about something that's not been revealed, kind of like on a public level, and you and I will keep it that way because we're going to keep the privacy. However, you, I hope, are paying close attention to something you and I covered, because everything's coming to light. Oh, and I meant to tell you guys, even on the world stage, June, July, August, 6, 7, 8, this is when you see stuff. Things will be exposed, and I'm sure this is across the world. I happen to live in the United States, so I expect a lot to happen here, but it's on the world stage. It's going to be all over the place. And I hope you're paying attention to that. Satya. Okay. Glynis, thank you for all what you do for all of us. You have significantly improved my life, and I know I speak for many others too. I wish you the very best in all things for you and your family. Okay, how darling is she? Because I didn't know what. I thought for sure she'd put her date of birth and ask a question, but no. She's just one of the good people who stop by to be kind. And that's exactly what I said about Charlie. So yeah, reach out to me through email because I'll tell you more, okay? Thank you. Thank you for that sweet message. Let's go with this. Yes, star intuition. I love that. Love soulmate for me in 2025. Okay, so what we do, we go back to the birthdays 7, 12, 1977. So it's a 3 day, one attitude, 1, 2, and then 7. 7 life path, 1, 2. Okay, so again, not knowing your name, you've entered a personal year of 1. 1 represents the beginning of 9 years, a 9 year cycle. It's all coming up, which is a big deal. That means you can be proactive about love. Like right now, if I were you, I'd be affirming what I want, this relationship, write it down. I mean, I know sometimes people are like, oh, write the color of his hair, how tall he is. I'm not, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather, what do you want? What is it you feel? What is this? What gives you gratitude and happiness? A guy with a sense of humor, someone who's financially stable, someone who has faith. All that stuff is what you should be working on regarding this love. And then I would tell you, you're a 7 life path born on a 3 day, which makes you complicated. So it's not like you could love just anybody. And more importantly, someone could be drawn to you for one part of your personality and reject you on the other. So, yeah, really important that you work on that. But you could have love, I would say to you, in the next couple of years, because you'll be in the cycle of 1 right now, which is working on you, getting in the driver's seat of your life. Next year, it's 2. 2 is for love. Following year is 3, feeling connected, and laughter communication. So it could be in the new year. And if you're really proactive, it could be towards the end of this year as you move into the cycle of 2. But yeah, 2025, 2026, 2027, that's where the love all is for you. Star intuition. All right, thanks for the question. I'm keeping track of me. I've made a little commitment with myself and I'm going to stand by it. Because remember, I plan on doing this like every few weeks. I want you to know this is like your home away from home as it is mine. And when you think of a question like, gosh, I really need to ask Glynis, great place to stop by and ask a quick question. Also, the free newsletter, you can submit questions to. And then I teach numerology. If you're interested in learning numerology, reach out and say, I'd like to be a student of Glynis's when it comes to understanding numerology better. Or if you're really having trouble in your life and you're overwhelmed and it's private, you don't want to talk about it publicly, I do private sessions, and you can keep that in mind too. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Cheryl. Let me get those dates of birth. So she's 10/7/1954. Yeah. And his birthday, 5/29/1952. Now, he wanted to take us to court over selling my parents' house, so we did sell it. But my sister and I are not speaking to him. Okay. So you wonder if he'll come full circle. So let's look at him. He's got a 7/8/7/6. And then you are born on a 7-day 8. Well, in numerology, you're technically considered pretty compatible, like your life path numbers a natural match. The actual day you're born, that's a little trickier because emotionally, he's been hurt. As far as he's concerned, he's been hurt. But also with his 7 attitude, man of mystery. He doesn't tell you everything that's going on. So I'm going to read this part again. He wanted to take us to court over selling my parents' house. So we did sell it. But my sister, 6/16/1957, and I are not speaking to him. So, and yet, will I ever speak to my brother? My answer is yes. I'm going to go with yes on this one. It's just going to take some time. Whenever it comes to, I'm assuming someone passed away and maybe this house was left to you all of a sudden. Whenever an estate happens, whenever someone passes away, you kind of figure out who everyone is, don't you? It's like when people reveal their true colors. And your brother has revealed something in this. But I still think he needs family. And your sister is strong-minded. It looks like she's double 7, born on a 7-day 4. Yeah. Now, money, I just want you to consider, I counsel about these things when it comes to estate and someone passing away. Who ended up getting more money? Did you split this evenly? Is there a story? And this not talking to, we're all coming through with lessons to learn. You cannot control your siblings. You can't. They can choose to be with you or not. You can be really nice and they can still break your heart. So I wouldn't take it too personally, Cheryl, but I would give it time for the healing to take place. All right. And also pay attention. Like, I don't know if you're connected to your brother or have access to what's happening with him. And also, you didn't tell me, does he have any bad habits? Does he drink any pills, any escaping of any kind? Because all of that plays a role in how we handle things. But your other sister, I feel, was very strong in how she did this, and he felt overwhelmed and maybe not heard, right? So again, it takes time, but I wouldn't take it personally. I want you to focus on your life. And 8, 9, yeah, you're a 9. Remember, family is so sacred to you. You'll do anything to keep the family together. Now, take a deep breath, get involved with charity, help people out there who really want you, who love you. Get connected with them, and you'll be much happier. Because family, what did they once say about family? If you really want to get screwed over, trust your family to do it. Something like that. Because it does happen. We're just human beings going through this experience. And yes, the numbers also tell the story. I'm wrapping for now. I promise I'll be back within a few weeks. The key, though, and I'm going to pop this up. Give me a moment. I'm going to go like this with my little banner. And I say, yeah, see where it says, if you enjoy what we just did today, the YouTube channel, me helping you and giving you some hot topics, then be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell just so you always know when I'm on air. I wish you a wonderful weekend, and don't let this 7-month get you. Go within, right? You know, sometimes I say, when in doubt, focus out. Not right now. When in doubt, go within. The answers are within in this month. Thank you. It's Glynis McCants, numerslady.com.